Everyone has an opinion about Canadian federal politics.
Canadians are struggling to put food on the table, and what are the Liberals doing? Well, they're giving $25 million to Costco and Loblaws. And what are the Conservatives doing? Well, the Conservatives, their leader is too busy whining and dining corporate lobbyists in private dinner clubs. New Democrats have a clear plan. We need to tackle corporate greed. We need to make sure we bring down the prices and stop giving millions of dollars to corporate grocery stores.
It would seem these days, gang, like Jagmeet Singh is a total loser. Just listen. Thought he was going to be Prime Minister. We just won an election. Let's take a peek.
When I'm Prime Minister, I will keep my promises.
Speaker, the NDP leader was just asking about why the Prime Minister gave tens of millions of dollars in corporate handouts to powerful grocery chains. So the answer, of course, is that he voted to let the Prime Minister do that. Not a single penny of that money could have gone without the vote of the NDP coalition partner. But
Hey gang, what's up? Just Aaron right here, Question Period Canada. What do you think about Jagmeet Singh these days? Him and Trudeau have to break up, and it looks like Pierre Poilievre's the guy to do it, tearing apart the coalition government. Some big things came out this week about Jagmeet, but once you see him double talk, I don't know if you'll trust him anymore. I used to trust or hope for this guy, not trust him. He's a politician, but I used to cheer for the NDP. Not anymore, guys. I just won an election like the rest of you. Let's take a peek at Jagmeet being torn apart by Pierre Poilievre. Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet won't be bedfellows much longer. All it's going to take is an election. In the meantime, we have this. Let's take a peek.
Canadians are struggling to put food on the table, and what are the Liberals doing? Well, they're giving $25 million to Costco and Loblaws. And what are the Conservatives doing? Well, the Conservatives, their leader is too busy whining and dining corporate lobbyists in private dinner clubs. New Democrats have a clear plan. We need to tackle corporate greed. We need to make sure we bring down the prices and stop giving millions of dollars to corporate grocery stores. When will the Liberals, when will the Prime Minister stop giving big grocery a free ride?
The Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Mr. Speaker, not only are we continuing to move forward on our grocery code of conduct, but we're working on our project to make food more affordable through competition reforms.
So much. I have an opening comment, then I look forward to your questions. We have seen in this country it's getting harder and harder for people to afford their groceries. And we're seeing in response to that, recently we've learned that instead of taking on corporate greed, the Liberals and Justin Trudeau have been giving millions of dollars to grocery corporations. So while people are struggling and trying to figure out what they can afford to buy or not buy, what they have to put back on the shelf because it's just too expensive, Liberals are deciding how many millions of dollars they want to give to the grocery cartel. We've seen recently $25 million plus going to Costco and Loblaws. And we know that this is hurting people. On top of that, my colleague Laurie Idlout is going to talk about the impact in the North. We've learned that Nutrition North, which is supposed to support people in the North, a third of that subsidy ends up going into the pockets of the CEO of Northwest Company. Again, that is absolutely wrong. Public money shouldn't be going to enrich rich corporations. It should be going towards ensuring that people have a better opportunity to get food that they need. And if we think the prices are high in the South, they are astronomically high in the North. So New Democrats have a clear vision. We need to stop the corporate greed, which is driving up the cost of food. We need to stop giving millions of dollars to rich corporations, and instead we need to bring down the price of food. I'm going to do that again in French, and then add in, we see people taking matters into their own hands with a boycott of Loblaws because they don't see this Liberal government taking on corporate greed. We need to see real action to stop corporate greed, bring down the prices of groceries, invest in people, not give millions of dollars to rich corporations. I want to invite Laurie Idlout to share her thoughts on what's going on, particularly in the North, and with a recent committee visit where she is going to bring in the CEO of Northwest Company. Laurie.
Kayanamik uvani jutakak tugut pijutakak luta ukyok taktong mutate ikayok taugia kamningen liberal cook kyo yun na tiangi mata takwa kisani namin apek sutia mariglutigo piyo magatta We are here because the Liberals are very good at protecting corporate greed, and we're calling them out on it. What we need to do, what I have been doing since I became elected, is asking questions about the Nutrition North program, because my constituents have been telling me right from the beginning that they are still suffering in poverty. Meanwhile, corporate greed is being protected by the Liberal government. The Northwest Company is making major profits, hundreds of millions of dollars in profits, while my residents are suffering in poverty. For example, the cost of a single pineapple in Talukyok is $11.99. A single liter of olive oil costs $36 in Nunavut. We need to make sure that we're getting answers for Nunavut, for the Arctic, because this Liberal government is failing to do it, and that is why I've summoned these CEOs to stop using their corporate greed to keep northern residents in poverty.
On that, sir.
So what's clear is what the Liberal government is doing right now, what Justin Trudeau is effectively doing, is breaking an element of the collective agreement. This was a negotiated part of the agreement, and that's what should happen. These matters should be negotiated, and then the agreement should be respected. And what the Liberals are doing are disrespecting that agreement, are breaking an element of it, and of course the workers should be able to count on our support to stand with them, to apply pressure on the government to make sure they follow up and follow through with their word.
Are you willing to pull out of the deal? That is what PSAC is saying. They want you to use the supply and confidence agreement if the Liberals don't follow through. That sounds like an election to me. Are you willing to do that over 1 day of extra work for federal public servants in person?
Well, we have lots of tools to our disposal with the agreement that we have. It allows us to put a lot of pressure on the Liberals, and we're going to use that pressure. We're going to use those tools to stand up for working people. We'll always fight for working people.
Comment? Peut-être en français là-dessus, oui.
Yeah, there's lots of ways. So I can give you a number of examples. The Liberals said no to pharmacare. We used our agreement to push forward. They said no to putting in medication coverage. We got diabetes medication and devices, as well as birth control free. None of that was something that the Liberals were going to do. We used pressure, and we got to that point. The dental care piece, we didn't require going to an election. We used pressure, and we got that through. We were able to double the GST rebate, which is now known as a grocery rebate. Again, that's something that we applied pressure. We forced the government to deliver. Even the public inquiry, something that we're recently talking about, was something New Democrats forced the government to do. They didn't want to do it. They were opposed to it. We kept the pressure going. New Democrats are the ones who first called for it and made it happen. There's many examples of how we have used our power to force the government to do something. They started off saying no. We forced them to do it.
Jusqu'où vous êtes prêt à aller? Jusqu'où vous êtes
Pas de problème pour nous.
With the Liberals handing out millions to big grocers, what are you asking for now, or what action would you like to see the Liberal government take to prevent this from happening in the future?
Well, two-part. One, just stop giving away millions of dollars of our public money to highly profitable companies. In the case of what Lori is pointing out, stop giving millions of dollars to a for-profit corporation instead of helping the people who are struggling to buy food. That seems pretty straightforward. Stop giving millions of dollars and putting it in the pocket of rich CEOs. Instead, take on corporate greed, bring down the price of groceries. The Liberals continue to fail to do that, and we're going to continue to raise these concerns.
Speaker, the NDP leader was just asking about why the Prime Minister gave tens of millions of dollars in corporate handouts to powerful grocery chains. The answer, of course, is that he voted to let the Prime Minister do that. Not a single penny of that money could have gone without the vote of the NDP coalition partner. But we learned something else, that this might have been due to the influence of the NDP leader's spokesman and brother, whose company is a lobbyist for Metro. Would the Prime Minister support an investigation into whether or not the NDP leader's spokesman and brother has been unduly influencing the leader of the NDP?
So yeah, gang, that's Jagmeet Singh. Like, when are we going to get the election that we're all wanting? We want to get rid of the Liberal NDP coalition. They keep saying they're doing great things for Canadians. Show me any evidence of that. Like in your day-to-day or month-to-month budget. You show me where Jagmeet Singh and his initiatives in the NDP Liberal Coalition Party is helping Canadians. My name's Aaron. This is Question Period Canada. We have a blast here watching Canadian federal politics, learning and sharing what we learn with you. Come and watch one of the live broadcasts. We cover the daily question periods. It's a blast. It's a fun community. Great chat room. Come and join us. Aaron, Question Period Canada. Like, subscribe, get notified, share it, all those fun things. Check out one of the fun videos floating around here. We've done some others. That's it. Come back, watch another video. We'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching this one. Later, folks. Have a good one, gang.